But everybody, never forget, don't call a timeout unless you have one. And with Coach Zai and Justin, we're going to start out, talk about the exciting game between the Chiefs and the LA Chargers. What a game that was. Chargers win on a 2-point conversion play at the end, 4 seconds left. Amazing rally by the team. What do you got?
Go ahead, Abby.
Well, what a gutsy call it was for that 2 point conversion. Like Philip Rivers said, post game interview, there was a breakdown. They ran that play earlier. They just made a couple personnel adjustments on that play. And man, that was the right play call. Offensive coordinator, he got his money's worth in that play call, that's for sure. But this game, especially when it got to the fourth quarter, it was pretty sloppy with all the penalties. I mean, a lot of self-inflicted wounds on both sides, especially the Chargers. When they're on defense, the Bosa, hands to the face, and there's a few other defense penalties too. But they just never quit. They hung in there the whole game. It looked like Chiefs had it in the bag. They were up 21-7. You were talking trash to me, Jake, saying it was over for the Chargers. But like Philip Rivers said afterwards, they just persevered. They didn't quit. They just stayed the course, and that's what championship ball clubs do. Um, and what a throw he made. It was 4th and 8, I believe, with like a minute to go, and he absolutely threw a dime up the field. Perfect pass. I mean, the defender did all he could. It was just a better throw. And then, so they complete the pass, and I think it was like second or third down, and Philip Rivers was going to the ground, and there was head-to-head contact. And yes, there should have been a penalty thrown, but there wasn't, and there was extremely poor time management, both on Philip Rivers and the coaching staff, because they had one timeout left. I think when he went to the ground, there's 26 seconds left, and they let 13 seconds go off the clock. So those little things, let's say, like when it was first and goal with 8 seconds, if Philip Rivers gets sacked, game's over. Instead of calling timeout, saving 13 seconds. But in hindsight, Chargers win. Doesn't really matter. But Philip Rivers, and you know this goes for all pro sports, these superstars, when they start getting on the officials, they get the calls. Well, what did Philip Rivers do? Superstar, he got on the refs.
Cried like a baby.
The next play, he got that call. Granted, did the corner pull his arm down a little bit, but that's not a call you make in that situation. That was Philip Rivers' effect. That was a makeup call because the one they missed before that. The rest knew it. Philip Rivers knew it. And then one thing I didn't get was when it was first and goal, I believe, the crowd was loud and the clock was running down, and Philip Rivers was trying to make like audible. There was like 5 seconds left on the play clock, or not the play clock. The what am I calling it? Was it the play clock?
Yeah.
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 And the Chiefs called timeout. I'm just like, what are we doing here? The Chargers had no timeouts left, and he's in scramble mode, trying to, like, the running back didn't even know what he was calling. He's trying to communicate to the offensive line, and Chiefs let him off the hook, and they drop a beautiful play. So I was just flabbergasted of what the defense coordinator, whoever called it, it was Andy Reid, or I don't know who it was.
Yeah, it was
what did they
Andy.
think in that situation? So, but like I said in my take earlier today, was that the Los Angeles Chargers, win this game, and they will be the number 1 seed in the AFC going to the tournament, baby.
I think a little bit great game, a little sloppy, but overall pretty good game for Thursday Night Football. And I think one of the biggest thing was that the Chargers kind of had a sense of urgency. Like they knew that was a must win for them. Because if they would have lost, it would have made the playoff race a lot more interesting. And then it does keep them in the division, gives them a chance to win the division. And, I mean, pretty much was a big win for them to guarantee a spot to make the playoffs almost. So, overall, though, I didn't think Philip Rivers played great through 2 picks. Started the game off with a pick. And I didn't think, but I kind of think you saw a little bit of Patrick Mahomes' youth. And this might be where they're missing Kareem Hunt now, where they weren't able to close the game up 21-7, weren't able to really have those couple of drives that really closes a game and wins a game. So I think that cost them a little bit, but huge win for the Chargers. And Philip Rivers right now just kind of has that veteran savvy to him. Like, hey, and even Antonio Gates. I mean, Antonio Gates has been playing for so long, still makes huge catches. And, Keenan Allen, they're going to be tough to beat and that's a huge win without Melvin Gordon. So that's going to be two really good teams. I just think at the end of the day, a veteran quarterback made one more play than a young, basically rookie quarterback did.
I'd agree. And, as much as I'd like to disrespect the Chargers, they played well. And something that stood out to me earlier in the game was that it was, I think, 1st and 10 or whatever it was, and the play clock was running down, and the Chiefs guy jumps offside. And I'm like, what is he doing? Like, I know you want to anticipate the snap count, but, the play clock was going to run out, and it was going to be a delay a game. Instead, he jumps offside and gives Philip Rivers a free play. So they were able to make something out of that. Then toward the end, like Justin said, I think Philip Rivers, through his crybabying, he got 2 huge calls, not just the pull down of the arm and they threw the flag, but on the touchdown, Orlando Scandrick definitely got pushed off. But you gotta let the players, it's kind of like with your little brother, you gotta battle it out. Let them settle it themselves. Don't let the officials make the calls in the end. So overall, just a great game. And the sad part is that if the Chargers do get the number 1 seed, they're playing in that little soccer stadium and not a lot of support there. But who knows whether, stadium or not. The Chargers, good team, very overlooked. And next week, I still don't know if the Chargers are going to get all the respect that they deserve, even with being that top team, with what Kansas City has done. So who knows going forward, the Chargers could lose their last 2 or they could win out, get the number 1 seed, and maybe make a Super Bowl push.
Yeah, Chargers the next 2 weeks. I think I read they host Baltimore and then they travel to Denver. And I think both those are wins. I think they finish out 13-3. The Chiefs, they go to Seattle next week. I'm saying that's a loss. And then they'll win in week 17. So the Chargers will win the division, be number 1 seed at 13-3, and the Chiefs will be the wild card at 12-4.
I'm not sure about the division. Next couple weeks we'll decide that, but just think it's a huge win for Philip Rivers. Usually the story of his career is they make a run at the end of the year and they come up just short. So big win for them. But the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. They're going to be a tough team in the playoffs. They can just score so fast. And I think Tyreek Hill's still a little banged up. So it's going to be crucial to get him healthy for that playoff game because when he's healthy, he's a missed tackle away from a touchdown at any point. But 2 really good teams. And, I said it on a different podcast earlier that the Chargers are a team to watch out for. Like, I don't want my Patriots to have to play them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I just think we saw 2 good offenses. We saw some defenses battle, make a couple plays, but it just was a good win for Philip Rivers. That's really all there was to it. Made hell of a last drive, and I agree, a hell of a play call, and what a breakdown by the Chiefs on that play call.
Yeah, or Philip Rivers' career, like you guys said, he normally comes up short. He normally doesn't win those kind of games, especially in cold weather. But I think this year's different. I think he realizes, and the whole locker room realizes that Philip Rivers doesn't have that much left in the tank. The man's 37 years old. He's been in the league for a while, so if he wants to get that Super Bowl ring, this is the year because he doesn't have that many years left. He might have 1 or 2 more years after this, maybe till he's 40, but I don't see him pushing past 40 years old. So,
Agreed.
and do we know as of right now who has a tiebreaker?
I think the Chiefs do.
I think Kansas City does as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the last 2 games for the Chargers. You got Ravens at home, and then they're on the road at Denver. 2 winnable games, but next week will be a big game for them. Just had a huge win. Can't be a let-up. The Ravens are battling for a playoff spot, too, so they're going to bring their A game. So that's going to be the interesting matchup. So, the division's going to come down to that, and we'll see. Philip Rivers, it could be crucial for them to get home field advantage. I feel more confident the Chiefs can win on the road than the Chargers can win on the road. Just because Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he really hasn't had a bad game yet. I mean, he has played really good. He doesn't really throw picks. And he just gives them a chance every game. They're going to score 24 to 28 points every game. He's shown that. So, but I feel more confident with the Chiefs on the road. So the Chargers is crucial for them to win the division and try to get some home field advantage because if for whatever reason they got to go into New England, that's not going to happen. And I mean that's pretty much for everybody. But I feel more confident the Chiefs have a better chance than the Chargers do.
I'd agree. And I just got to give a shout out to Anthony Lynn, though, the Chargers coach, for going for two. He could have just kicked the extra point and played it to overtime. But for him to say, you know what, we're going to roll the dice, we're going to go for the win and keep Mahomes off the field and to not give him a chance in overtime to try and lead him down the field for a game-winning touchdown, to say we're either going to lose by one or we're going to win by one. And they had a good play call, and the Chiefs busted the coverage, and they got the play, and they won the game. So, give Anthony Lynn some credit there. Made a great play and led his team to a huge victory in Arrowhead.
I agree. I mean, you look kind of more the impact of the later NFL games. That Dolphins play that happened in New England is even more crazy now, because if New England would have won that game, they pretty much would have controlled their own destiny to home field advantage. And so that play comes even more impactful now because New England would have had the tiebreaker with Kansas City because they won the head-to-head. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm really excited to watch that end. And, got to give a shout out to Phillip Rivers. Was a great call by Anthony Lynn, but, well-deserved for Phillip Rivers. I'd like to see him in the playoffs and kind of see if they can make a run here.
Yeah, the Chiefs had a tiebreaker. I'm pretty sure the tiebreaker goes by best division record, if I'm not mistaken. The Chiefs are
I
at.
think that's the second one.
Chiefs are at 4-1 division. Chargers are 3-2. Broncos 2-2, and your Raiders are 0-4.
Yeah, thanks.
So
thanks.
That's how they determine it, right? If two teams are tied and they split.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because the Chiefs will. Would you say they were 4-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll kill my team in week 17. So they're 5-1.
Another play that kind of hurt too. I think was it 28-21. Mahomes threw a deep ball on a free play, which we all thought was offsides, but it was offsetting. But the play still counted. Was it who hit him in the face mask?
Joey Bosa?
No. On the vertical, on the go route, the free play.
Oh, Tyreek Hill?
That's right. It was Tyreek Hill. I mean, sure-handed guy, and it hits him right in the face mask. I mean, it was right there. And I think it was 28-21 at that scenario. So if he catches that pass, it's 35-21 with probably roughly 3 minutes to go. And now the Chargers are in scramble mode. And I don't think they can make up a 14-point deficit on the road against one of the best teams in the NFL. But see, everyone on SportsCenter and First Take is just going to look at, wow, what a gutsy call. Right. But when you start breaking down the film, those little mistakes that you go back and reflect on, those plays are just as vital as that 2-point conversion.
I agree. And, that's why, like I said, it's really tough to probably pick either one of those teams and make it out of the AFC because, even Phillip Rivers, 2 picks tonight, just not sure how, if they're going to be able to perform at the level that you have to perform at to beat the Patriots, or even beat Big Ben, because Big Ben will take his game to the next level in the playoffs. Even though I'm not a huge fan of it, I know, in a big game, he's going to play well in the playoffs.
Were you just dogging me about picking the Steelers?
So I am. I think that's a bad pick. I don't think they have a chance against the Patriots, but he'll play well against a Chargers or the Chiefs.
That's what I tried to tell you the other night. We were talking about who could compete and contend against the Patriots in the AFC, and one of my picks was the Steelers because Big Ben in the playoffs is completely 180 difference from Big Ben in the regular season.
I agree, but he can't beat the Patriots in the playoffs, and that's been proven.
Well, I mean, a lot has to be said for number 12 on the other sideline.
I agree. So, but again, great win by Phillip Rivers, and it'd be interesting to see the next couple weeks to see how that division folds out.
So I still think the AFC is down to 3 teams. The Chargers, coming out of the AFC, Steelers and Patriots. I don't think the Chiefs have it. You want to talk about a team that always comes up short in the playoffs, especially with an inexperienced Patrick Mahomes. I just don't think they have it. I can see them getting to the second round. Maybe they win one playoff game in the wild card tournament, but not the wild card tournament, but wild card week. But I don't see them making it past the divisional round in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I
can see
agree.
that.
If it's at Arrowhead, they have a chance just for that reason. But
Well, if
if
they
it's
don't win,
not
it,
at,
they don't win a division, they're not going to be at Arrowhead.
I agree.
Unless
But
the first
having the
round. Actually, no,
tiebreaker,
they won't. They won't be. They won't host one game if they're a wild card team.
I
They'll
agree.
host
But
one.
They will
they gotta
host one.
If
they'll
it's a
host the
wild,
wild
well,
card.
no. My bad. They'd have to be the 2 seed to get a home playoff game.
Yeah.
My bad.
But they but they own the tiebreaker. So they still control their own destiny. We'll see.
Yeah.
Does it really matter if the Chiefs play a home playoff game, seeming they haven't won a home game there in years?
I mean, that's the only chance. They can't beat like a New England or somebody on the road.
No.
Agreed.
I mean, Patrick, if it's a blizzard in New England, he doesn't have a chance.
Well, even if there isn't a blizzard, they still won't beat them.
So who's your guys' pick coming out of the AFC as of right now?
New England.
Patriots.
Patriots. You heard it from me first. I'm going with those LA Chargers.
Okay.
I hope not. As a
LA
Raider fan,
Chargers,
personally, I
man.
hope not.
You
But
heard it from me earlier today. I told you they were going to win. I was wrong on the score prediction, but I mean, who can guess the score prediction?
I was pretty close. I had 28-24.
Yeah, I was a little high, but I didn't look into the weather. If I'd have looked in the weather a little bit more, I thought it was fair conditions. So, but I told you they're going to win earlier. I told you they're going to be first place into the playoffs, and they will make the Super Bowl. This is Philip Rivers' team, Philip Rivers' year. He knows it's winding down on his career, and he wants that ring. This is his year.
We'll
are you
see.
saying they're going to win it too?
It depends on the matchup, who they play, and a lot can happen, injuries, etc. From here on. Where's the Super Bowl at? Is it in a dome?
I believe so.
I think it's in Atlanta,
Atlanta? I think is it in Detroit?
not
No.
in Detroit.
It's not in Detroit.
Detroit will never host a Super Bowl or be in one for a
I think
while.
actually I believe it's in Minnesota.
That was last year, I think.
But it is in a Superdome.
I mean, yeah, it's usually in a Superdome.
It is in Atlanta.
It is in Atlanta.
First time.
And Atlanta is a dome, retractable roof.
Yeah. So I mean, because if the Chargers are playing in snowy conditions, it's a disadvantage. But obviously, if they're in a dome, weather don't matter. So advantage to the Chargers. But it just depends on
Weather's not going to matter because he's not making it through Tom.
Even if New England goes to LA.
Yeah, that won't matter either.
There'll probably be more Patriot fans than Charger fans at that game anyway.
Does Philip Rivers even have a playoff win?
He might have won.
I believe he does.
Not
yes.
a chance. He'll get washed off the field against the Patriots.
Washed off the field. Give me a score.
If they play at New England, it'd be like 31-14.
What about in LA?
31-14 because it doesn't matter. There's
In
no,
LA, 28-21. A little closer.
We'll see.
LA has no fans. The Chargers have no fans.
After they get this ring, they will. Chargers in the Super Bowl, baby.
All right, we'll see.
All right. Thanks for taking the time out with us, and never forget, don't call a timeout unless you have one. Have a great night.